For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With ORRETT Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, ORRETT.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Friday, the 26th day of September 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. This morning as well, some portions of our roadways are wet, others may not be. Seems as if the rain, precipitation may have been in some places and not in others. So please ensure that you exercise that extra caution when driving. Ensure that you maintain a proper distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Give yourself sufficient stopping time. Keep your eyes on the road. Concentrate on traffic and absolutely nothing else. When you are behind the wheel of a vehicle, that is a full-time job. It isn't part-time. You can't be doing that and doing something else. You have to pay attention. It is a full-time job until you park that vehicle. And if you're driving a standard transmission vehicle, you put it in, either leave it in gear or put it in neutral and put up those the emergency brakes or hand brakes. Or if it's an automatic transmission, you put it into park and you turn the ignition off. And even then, you have to be careful, because if you're getting out of the car and traffic is moving by you, you have to ensure that it is safe for you to open the door of the vehicle as well. My point is, it is a full-time job. It isn't just, well, it's to get me from point A to point B. While you're doing that, you should be paying attention to nothing other than your driving. So, with those words, I want to thank you. We hope and we trust that you all enjoyed the evening, have something to share with you this morning as well. But before we do that, for those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one in the last few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout out is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola are proud to support your birthday shout outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. Share a Coke with someone special. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy and sometimes dangerous roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, ORRETT Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. We have a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. We have a WhatsApp number, 925-3261 as well, that you can share with us. This is the first time in quite a while that I have actually been able to complete my opening dialogue because we have had so many guests in the studio and everything, so it's been a pleasure to do that. So part of my opening dialogue, we talk about things that occur on the local, regional, and international scene. This morning, I want to share with you what has been happening on the local scene. And I'm not going to bad news. I want to talk about the Finance Committee of our Parliament that met yesterday. Quite a long session. I'm sure that those of you who have a day job, would have been extremely difficult for you to listen to it, but I would encourage you to go back and check the recording. You will learn a lot, and we're going to share some of that with you as well. We want to commend all of the ministers and members of Parliament who participated, all the civil servants who provided the support, technical and otherwise, support to their ministers as well. Some were more prepared than others, and I think that speaks to, well, I won't say what it speaks to. I'll just say some were more prepared than others. Some were much more impressive than others, but they all got their messages across, and they all were able to fulfill their parliamentary duties as well, including the members on the other opposite side of the aisle, the opposition, in terms of their responsibility to hold the government to account as well. But before we get into all of that, let's look at the birthday shout-outs today. And I received, quite a few, as well, in addition to what we normally bring up. So the first one is happy birthday greetings going out to Miss Marva Solomon, and the birthday greetings are coming from her sister who is in England. Her sister's name is Gwen Facey, and she is wishing her sister, Miss Marva, a happy birthday today as well. So, Miss Marva, if you're listening, your sister, Miss Gwen Facey, sends you happy birthday greetings, and from all the way in London as well. Also, let's find all of those now. I've been asked to send birthday greetings to Miss Joan Ramon, who celebrated her birthday. So this will be a happy belated birthday to Miss Joan Ramon, who celebrated her birthday on Wednesday. Greetings are coming from Anis, Aline, those are two of my sisters, Miss Sadie Shillette and her family as well. Also, greetings going out to Miss Cordella Shillette, who's celebrating her birthday today, and birthday greetings are coming from her parents, Miss Sadie and Mr. Marfield Shillette, Sister Holly Ann and family, and also the entire Tropical Gardens family as well. Oh, we got the birthdays today. Miss Mitzi Bailey's birthday is tomorrow, the 27th. Of course, Miss Mitzi Bailey is the sister of Miss Zeta May Barton. So, Miss Mitzi Bailey, happy birthday when tomorrow comes to you as well. Here is another one. Happy birthday. Oh, wow, Miss Susan. You're going to like this one. Happy birthday to Miss Theoline Seymour Wellington, fondly known as Miss Tit Tit, who will be celebrating her 97th birthday this Sunday, the 28th of September. A truly remarkable woman whose life has touched so many. We will gather as family and friends to celebrate you with love and gratitude. May your day be filled with love, laughter, and the company of those who cherish you. These kind words and greetings are coming from Sharon, Judith, Reese, Sasha, Cameron, and Jesse as well. So Miss Tit Tit celebrating her birthday also. Let's look at the other. Miss Elke Fuhr O'Donnell. She's celebrating her birthday today. Miss Della Dilbert Klein celebrating a birthday today as well. Kevin Tibbetts also celebrating a birthday today. Let me make sure that I haven't missed any. Don't want to miss anybody. Then we have tomorrow the 27th. Trying to get this up there. Stephanie McCoon celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Andrew Minot also celebrating a birthday tomorrow. On Sunday also, Miss Olita Elliott is celebrating her birthday. Ron Ebanks on Sunday as well. Dominic Ebanks on Sunday also. And Mr. Wainroy Randall also on Sunday, the 28th of September. Many September birthdays. And if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please send that information to us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out. Here's another one. Belated birthday wishes to Miss Elverdine Banks. Elverdine Banks, her birthday was yesterday. God's blessing forever be with her. She's a kind, caring person, and birthday wishes are coming from Valerie and Myrtle. So, again, to Miss Everdeen Banks, birthday greetings coming from Valerie and Myrtle. Was yesterday. God's blessings forever be with her because she is a kind and caring person as well. I think I've covered all of those. We're going to, let me make sure, as well. I think that is it. But if you do know someone, please send that information to us, and during the course of the show, we will give them a shout out as well. We're going to go to our first commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Joseph James Anglin, 1899-1982.
Captain Joseph James Anglin was a sea captain who sailed to the Mosquito Keys, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Tampa, Florida. Married to Alvis Christina Chrissy Ebanks and the father of 12 children, he was a God-fearing Christian and a preacher in church. Known as a good neighbor, he helped to build a strong community.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
It's a sizzling summer with JN Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with JN Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with JN Money.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
It's me again, that old gal Gala Wanton with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle Rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage, with tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This summer, happiness is better when you share it. Coca-Cola invites you to share a Coke with someone special. Grab an ice-cold Coke and find a name. Maybe theirs, maybe yours, maybe a surprise. Because nothing says you matter like sharing a smile and a Coke. So who will you share a Coke with today? Find your name, find your friends, and share a Coke. Available now. Stores island-wide.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the Salad Bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Very quickly, you heard me speak earlier about the Finance Committee meeting yesterday and how it was conducted as well. And of course, the chairman did an excellent job in terms of allowing so much latitude for members to ask questions, as well. I think his performance yesterday showed he would make a good speaker as well. But that's a discussion for another day. We're going to share some of the audio with you from yesterday's Finance Committee. Ms. Susan, over to you. Yeah. Play it.
Were provided to the Minister of Finance were $1,115,670 on the revenue side, and the total expenditures would have been $1,208,485, which would have projected a deficit of $92,816,000. However, after further work by the Minister of Finance and going back and forth between the finance team and the ministers and portfolios, because we must remember information is fed into finance. Finance doesn't sit at the center and just create numbers. Resulted in $1,121,000.
Mr. Chairman, for the interruption of your thoughts. So when you say ministers, would you care to elucidate that just included, certainly can speak for my own setting, CFOs and not chief officers and minister?
Would have included,
I keep referring to ministers and portfolio, but I was reliably informed and I was direct involvement that I can say did not include them as far as related to my minister and speaking to the ministers, other four ministers, the ministers or their chief officers. It was the CFOs, which is a distinction,
Yeah, it wouldn't have come from the ministers themselves, absolutely.
Or the chief officers.
I can't speak for whether or not we can't speak for whether or not any of the chief officers had knowledge or not, but certainly the CFOs would have, at a minimum, had knowledge.
And I don't mean to belabor the point, but I can speak based on the fact of what my own chief officers told me and my ministers at the time told me obtaining their ministries. And so I was left with a distinct confirmation that I could believe what I was told, and I would still like to believe what I was told, that it only involved the CFOs. And if that was not the case, then I give ample room, subject to your discretion, for a different opinion to be applied at this time.
I wasn't there, so I could not proffer an opinion.
I'm just saying that there was a lot of dependence that was put on the preview. And persons would have noticed that I have been relatively quiet about it. I chose to take that position. I've been a civil servant myself and haven't been on the political side. And I don't mean to break that, but I think that now that you've introduced it, that the record ought to reflect. Certainly this minister, this premier, did not have prior or consultative or collaborative involvement. Because if I had, it would not have been at $26 million. And time doesn't permit to go and say, but even as recent as with the commissioner that was just here, the amounts that were put in for him and the I want to say pressure, but the encouragement from those who earn higher than I, that are responsible for good governance, to make sure that the police vote just on the 10 million, if member serves me right, was put there. We then took it as a Section 12. That has not come, and the government has the prerogative not to bring it. And I heard the Honourable Premier explain the reasons why it's not been brought in the last two opportunities that we could have brought it. And so that in itself, if that has not been reallocated, should be reflected in the now 10 million, which is a $70 million swing from what was said publicly just a few weeks ago.
Sure, and I'll get to explaining that particular item and how that item winds up different than today. And so the preview then produced a final $1,121,264 revenue projection and an overall total expenses of $1,147,458, or which would have resulted in a projected $26,194 million deficit. Now let's make this very, very clear. At all points in time, based on data, projections are driven, and projections are never going to be a dollar and to the penny. They are projections. Having said that, we have to also recognize that,
Mr. Chairman,
even if we go...
I do apologize to interrupt you, but you were right to say that they're just projections and not a statement of fact.
Sure.
Is that correct?
Absolutely. Everything that we do until we get to January 31st and all accounts 2026 and everything for December 31st, 2025 is closed off, we don't know what the end result is.
And neither is it a statement of truth either.
Neither
Correct?
is
a statement of fact or a statement of truth. Would that be correct?
Would what be correct?
The projections in a preview.
A preview is just that. It's a pre-election financial update.
Projection.
And it's a projection. And that was made very clear.
So if somebody suggested that this is the factual situation, they would be lying, wouldn't they?
What would be factual? It's a projection. No one, I don't know if anyone.
So it can't be a fact. It's not truth. It's not, because it is a subjective thing.
It is a projection based on the facts in front of professionals. And as is the case right now, and as is the case within the budget. So when you all brought the 2024-25 budget, that was a projection for 2 years, just as we will bring a 26-27 budget, that would be a projection for 2 years.
Okay. All right. That solves that. If I could help you with your response, I see that you're going through a chronological order from preview come forward, but I wouldn't mind humbly reminding you that the question was simply, what caused the difference between August 30th, when you announced on your press conference to the media, there was a projected $60 million. From then, what cost measures or cost reduction measures did the administration do over that period to now have us here at a $10 million surplus today? Is what I was asking, not the chronological order of things. Unless your projections are that off, which has been something suggested before, not yours particularly, but the projections are not reliable. You use that as a supporting narrative for extending the SPS, that they're not reliable within a certain amount of months. But now this is the 30th of August, and now today is the 28th, 25th
of September.
It's a significant shift.
And so if I might just continue on and then just give a wrap up.
Sorry, my apologies.
Then we have a further discussion. So obviously coming into an election, coming out of an election, and there being a change of administration, one of the things that we had to try to grapple with and get our minds around was what was the state of public finances, at which time there was a reforecast that was conducted on the 16th of May, again going out to ministries and portfolios to get numbers back. It was at that time that, based on that round of consultation, that an estimated $60 million deficit could have resulted.
Folks, that was a portion of the discussions taking place in the Finance Committee yesterday. I would encourage you, when you get the opportunity, to you can go back on Radio Cayman, because it was brought live on Breeze. And you can also go on CIG TV, Cayman Islands Government TV. Extremely important, because you see things, you read things in the newspapers, you hear things, you see things on chats and everything else. You get an opportunity to hear it directly from the mouths of our members of Parliament or ministers as well. We have to go to the 8 o'clock news, but we will have government representatives in the studio with us later on, which will give more opportunities for clarity and as well as to explain precisely what the whole procedure is all about. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 2 minutes past 8.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. It's a big no by the Court of Appeal after a man used AI when crafting his defense. Samuel Johnson admitted using artificial intelligence to write his legal arguments, including references to cases that didn't exist. The court said this was misleading and could have led to contempt of court or even a criminal investigation. While no action was ultimately taken against Johnson, the court issued a strong warning to everyone. Using AI in legal documents must be clearly stated, and you should personally check that all references are real. Misuse could result in fines, case dismissal, or legal consequences. It's a marathon meeting for Cabinet as they deal with a number of money matters. At their September 10th meeting, members approved a new purchase agreement between government and the Institute for Professional Accountants, creating a brand new budget line item with $200,000 pulled from the framework for functioning of the financial services industry budget. More than $33 million in supplemental funding was approved to, quote, ensure adequate funding for the continued coverage of critical and tertiary healthcare services for indigent persons, geriatric care, medical treatment not covered by insurance, care for the uninsured, and management of chronic illnesses. That includes overseas care. Cayman's leaders also reallocated just under $167,000 to cover school nursing and home care nursing provision. Cabinet pulled $2.3 million from the budgets for Ministry of Health and Wellness and other health and wellness program assistance, moving it to cover a number of items related to remediation work at the landfill and more than $1 million for the line item Notice to Proceed expenses for Integrated Solid Waste Management System, which was terminated back in March. Another $1.7 million was given the thumbs up for the collection, recycling, and disposal of waste, with $600,000 of that coming from the budget for policy advice and ministerial servicing. This will fund the removal and recycling of tires from the landfill in Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman, as well as scrap metal and end-of-life vehicles from the sister islands. Lastly, Cabinet agreed to $12.7 million in extra funding for Cayman Airways. Other matters on the day included the establishment of the Energy Policy Implementation Committee, the approval to pursue a public-private partnership for the new submarine cable modernization project, and the setup of a new national public health unit. You can find the full summary online at gov.ky.
These school visits are an investment in the next generation of informed and engaged citizens.
Ombudsman Sharon Rolston tells Radio Cayman her Information Rights Division is visiting 3 schools this week to deliver interactive presentations designed to, quote, spark curiosity, civic awareness, and leadership potential. This as Cayman marks its 16th year of Freedom of Information legislation, which gives you the right to request information held by public sector entities. The team spoke with 14 to 18-year-olds at John Gray High School, the University College of the Cayman Islands, and Grace Christian Academy. For more information, visit ombudsman.ky. And esports athletes are gearing up to Super Smash, the competition at Gamers Bay 9.
The largest gaming party in the Cayman Islands. It's going to be a fun 2-day event. We're going to have live gaming. We're going to have some cosplay.
There will also be vendor booths and free game demos ranging from retro arcade games to racing sims to virtual reality. Organizer Lance Jefferson tells Radio Cayman there will be international gaming celebs at this year's event as well.
Austin John Plays is one of them. He's a YouTuber that he gets a lot of his content around, or he does a lot of his content around more like game guides, Pokemon, Nintendo, Zelda. And then we have a fun-loving anime and gamer, cosplayer and gamer. His name is Brown Bakugo. Nice. And then we have Kawiwi. She's a gamer and cosplayer as well. And so, again, it's going to be a fun 2 days.
That's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the John Gray Gym. You can get your tickets online at gamersbayevent.com. Now with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Govinda Gill. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is preparing to address the United Nations General Assembly, with Israel looking more isolated internationally than ever over its conduct in Gaza. He's expected to criticise countries that have recognised a Palestinian state and remind delegates of the Hamas attacks that sparked the war. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store, or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
At 35 miles per hour, you have 3 seconds to react. At 50 miles per hour, just 1.5 seconds. That split second you save speeding could be the split second that saves a life. Most fatal crashes in Cayman involve speeding. Slow down, because arriving late is better than never arriving at all. Smart or reckless. Your choice changes everything. Visit gov.ky/road safety.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 86 degrees. Relative humidity is 77%. The barometric pressure is 29.88 inches and rising. The wind is out of the north-northeast at 6 knots. Overnight low was 81. Synopsis indicate cloudiness and showers associated with a very active tropical wave just east of Jamaica is expected to spread into the Cayman area within the next 24 hours as the system gradually drifts westward. As a result, the Cayman area can expect an increased chance of cloudiness and showers, accompanied by light northerly winds and slight seas. Radar imagery indicate isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving southwest. The National Hurricane Center continues to issue advisories on post-tropical cyclone Gabrielle and Hurricane Umberto, and further information on these systems can be found at www.nhc.noaa.gov. Additionally, the National Hurricane Center continues to monitor the tropical wave just east of Jamaica, designated as AL94. An area of low pressure is expected to form along the wave today when it moves near the southeast Bahamas. This low is expected to become a tropical depression when it's in the vicinity of the central and northwest Bahamas later today or over the weekend, and then track northwestward or northward over the southwestern Atlantic. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor this system for any development. The system poses no threat to the Cayman Islands at this time. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times, with a 30% chance of showers and some thunder, and temperatures will be in the low 90s with a heat index near 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be north to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times with a 60% chance of showers and thunder, especially over Caymanbrack and Little Cayman. Showers will be locally heavy at times and temperatures falling near the low 80s tonight. Winds will be northerly at 5 to 10 knots for tonight, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Today's high tide will occur this afternoon at 12:23 and a low tide this evening at 6:26 and a high tide again tonight at 10:39. The sun will set this evening at 6:16 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:16. And the outlook is calling for continued increased chance of cloudiness and showers across the Cayman area over the weekend as the tropical wave moves westward. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
On Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit-K, where people come first.
It's me again, that old Gala wantin' with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I racking up all the Sir Turtle rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now. Northside, get ready to be pampered. At Genesis Unisex Beauty Salon and Barber, we're bringing style, color, and care to you. Located next to High-Low Grocery, Franksound Road, Northside. From cuts for men and boys to vibrant colors, braids, wig installations, locks and grooming, lash extensions, and more. Need a relaxing mani-pedi or custom acrylic nails? We've got you covered. Genesis Unisex is the only salon in Northside, and we're here to make you look and feel amazing. Book now at 323-9055. Find us on Facebook or Instagram, or email us at genesis77beautysalon@gmail.com. Special offers are happening now on pedicure tip and acrylic, relaxing, and more. So don't miss out. Genesis Unisex Beauty Salon and Barber, where Northside goes for beauty.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning to you. Let's see what the roads are saying this morning. Some roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. Further up on Shamrock Road and Rex Crichton Boulevard, flowing at a moderate pace. Further down, different story. Traffic steady. And as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, slow moving traffic on Crew Road. Expect some delays as you head on down to Georgetown. Heading east on Crew Road, traffic flowing pretty good. Downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, flowing at a moderate pace. And no issues on Owen Roberts Drive. Traffic is light to moderate, as well as coming from the West Bay four-way stop. Godfrey Nixon Way and Easton Avenue, traffic is flowing pretty good in both directions, as well as on the West Bay Road in front of Ritz. Have you seen accidents? Let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Coming off of the Ashley Tibbetts Highway, traffic is moving along at a steady pace and continuing on to Huldah Avenue. Traffic is moderate, and also Northtown Road in both directions. Industrial Park area flowing at a moderate pace. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe, Cayman Islands.
Get ready for something sweet, spicy, and totally crave-worthy. The hot honey chicken sandwich is here, and it's bringing the heat. We've taken our tender, juicy chicken and drenched it in bold, hot honey sauce for the perfect balance of sweetness and spice. But hurry, this one's only here for a limited time. Hot honey chicken. Try it today before it's gone. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
It's a sizzling summer with Jan Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with Jan Money. Visit www.janmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with Jan Money.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Why is it important to vaccinate children against HPV? Because research shows that the best time to get the HPV vaccine is between the ages of 9 and 14, and it takes a single dose. The HPV vaccine is the best protection available against HPV-related cancers, which impacts boys and girls, men and women. Let's arm our nation against cancer, Cayman. Get the HPV vaccine today. For more information, contact the Public Health Department on 244-2648 or 244-2889.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now none other than the Honorable Rolston Anglin, who's the Minister for Finance, but also Education and Training as well.
Yes.
I hope I got that right. Yes, and I even if I sound patronizing, I want to say, congratulations and a job well done in terms of presiding over Finance Committee yesterday. I think your approach to the whole proceedings, certainly I don't believe that the opposition can complain in any way in terms of that you didn't give wide latitude and allow them to ask as many questions as they needed to gain clarity, on everything. So with that, I'm going to say good morning, sir. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. It's very good to be here. Always good to be on any public forum where we talk about things that pertain to our people, because after all, we are but representatives and voices of the people. And so, as a proud representative for the constituency of West Bay North, I took the great pleasure of presiding over my second finance committee. Mm-hmm. I think you're being very fair. I take that role very seriously. I got many text messages, WhatsApp messages saying, well, why are you letting this one talk so much and this one talk, that one talk so much and that one ask so many questions. And I think that my approach to the Finance Committee is that I must always ensure that the opposition is given every opportunity to ask as many questions as they feel necessary to do their work. Ultimately, if they're not able to do their work, then the committee can't really be effective and function as it needs to. So that's been my approach. Now, I will say that come budget time, when we're going to have a much heavier agenda, we're going to have to be a lot more precise. And I'm going to be asking members to really be more precise in their questioning versus making comments. This was a Section 12, and what that is for the public's knowledge. In between budgets, governments have 2 ways in which it can change the plans. The annual plan and estimates is what the Parliament debates and ultimately passes by way of going into Finance Committee to have a detailed examination of those plans, report back to the Parliament after the debate on the budget, and pass them. And so that's the legal authority for government to spend around those specific outputs and outcomes that drive those outputs. Plans change. Governments can use what is called an 11.5, which only requires Cabinet to approve those changes, but there's a limit, there's a cap of 5% of income that can be utilized for that function. That's for emergencies and changes that happen during the course of time. You might vote for, a specific item, but as you spend and as the teams go through in a particular ministry, they may realize they need to shift focus, and so they need to reallocate resources. Then what we did yesterday was a Section 12, which we then go to the Finance Committee before we make any changes to allocations. That is always the preferable route. It is always preferable to go back to that very same committee that examined the budget and gave you the authority in the very first instance to spend monies in the way that the budget allocates. And so Sections 12s are about transparency and openness in government. And so what I would like to say to the public is, whilst that number may sound very high, a lot of that was reallocations. Some was, quote-unquote, new monies. But after having input all that into what we're projecting out to be the end result for December 31st, at this stage, I'm happy to say that the revised projections have us coming in at right around a $10 million surplus. Now, let me be very clear, and I think you may have played something earlier, so I think that's what you mentioned to me. So I'm not going to belabor that point. A budget is just that. It's a budget. All of us set household budgets. Yeah. What happens if you get laid off? What happens if you get a raise or a promotion? What happens if that TV that you plan to buy goes up in price by $500, but you still buy your TV? You're going to spend $500. Budgets are just that. They're a plan. They're an estimate. And so those projections that are made by professionals, but as we experience the real spend, and this happens in your household, that's why I use your household example, it should happen in businesses, and so that's what government does. So this concept of trying to say that a budget is truth is the actual experience we live through, and until we get to December 31st, God spares our life, we don't know what the quote-unquote truth is. That will then be the actual 100% accurate way in which the public's monies was spent. Then we, of course, do the cleanup exercise during the month of January, where chief financial officers make all their final entries and adjustments, and then we have the final set of financials to present to the public.
Now, there was mentioned that after these proceedings, is there a 3-month period then to bring it to something to Parliament? I remember you mentioning that as well.
So what happens with 11.5s? Okay. With 11.5s, because those don't need parliamentary approval, there is a requirement under the Public Management Finance Act for there to be an appropriation bill put together so that all of that spending becomes transparent to the committee and therefore to the public. and then ultimately to the Parliament. So all your 11 files, well, as Cabinet can do those, they still have to be disclosed publicly. Now, let me be clear, that's after the fact, though, right? Because it's already happened. Your Section 12s also have to be put into a final appropriation bill as well. And so then the public can take what was the approved budgets, what was the 11 fives, what were the 12s, and then that is your final outcome for what happened for the 24, 25 fiscal years. And that just happens each cycle as the budget cycle unfolds.
Okay, let me take this opportunity to say good morning and welcome to, for the record, to the Deputy Premier, the Honourable. I can refer to you as Peanuts.
You refer to me as anything, Mr. Connor.
As well, and also to Minister Rankine, Mr. Isaac Rankine as well. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Good morning to the good people of the Cayman Islands as well.
Okay. Deputy Premier Gary Rutty, your take on yesterday's proceedings. And again, I don't want to sound patronizing in any way, but, want to be honest. And being a former civil servant myself, I take pride in being able to support whatever minister that you fall under, and it is, you feel proud when you provide the support that is needed. Both of your teams did excellent, as far as having you prepared, as well. Not that you may have needed any preparation whatsoever, because I wasn't watching, I was listening, but you were able to handle many things just, right off your feet as well. Some feedback from you.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning, Cayman Islands, and a special shout out to Georgetown South. Yesterday was an amazing day, was a learning experience, and, I had very fortunate to be with, a good chairman like Minister Anglin over there. We also had a lot of good questions from the opposition. And it went through, I would say, I would say painstakingly free, but, it was some good feedback back and forth, and we got accomplished what we needed to get accomplished. And before I go on, you talk about my teams, I want to, special shout out to CEO Fabian Worms from Cayman Airways, yes. And also the COO, CFO Paul Tibbetts, and then my team is Joel Francis, Miss Gina Matthews, and Yoni in my ministry. We worked till about 10:30 the night before. We were here first thing yesterday morning preparing as well, and they gave me all the information, all the data that I needed. And a lot of the data, was most of the stuff was before me that I inherited it, but they were all very versed of what was going on, and we just had to come and present it. And like I said, there's some good feedback from the opposition. We welcomed the questions, and it was a respectful manner, and I appreciate them. But more importantly, I appreciate the government side here, and also the Minister Anglin and with his chairmanship and his expertise, how he guided everything. Much impressed.
Excellent. Minister Rankine,
yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning again to you, OC. Yes, I've been through several finance committees now, and there's no two that is the same. But certainly it was a good, as far as I'm concerned, a very good finance committee. Like my colleague, Minister Rutty, said, we had good engagement with the opposition. They asked a lot of questions. We were able to provide some answers. Some we committed to giving to them in writing, and for those that I committed to give in writing, my team is preparing those to get out expeditiously to them. And certainly I want to thank my ministry team that came and supported us, led by Chief Officer Nelly Pucci, my DCO Trevor Gibbs, acting director from DFA Justin Ebanks, and the whole team, and Miss Director from Department of Children and Family Services, Miss Paulinda Mendoza. We had really good support from the civil servants, and I'm really proud to work with them, sir.
Excellent. And to all of you, unlike when you have question time in Parliament, where the questions are put to you in advance, your staff will prepare them. They will prepare answers as well as possible supplementary questions, the answer to possible supplementary questions that may be asked as well. Mr. Anglin, this is more of a free format, so you really don't know what's coming at you to a certain extent.
Absolutely. So the questions, you have to answer them on your feet, and you have to be prepared. But it would be remiss of me, and I think I I think I was thorough with this at the very end, but it would be remiss of me if I didn't publicly thank the Financial Secretary, Kenneth Jefferson, and the entire team in the Ministry of Finance. I think in the last few months, they have come under some, what I believe is unwarranted scrutiny. Our Public Management and Finance Act requires the Financial Secretary to provide an apolitical pre-election report. Now, this report has been the source of a lot of contention, but it's designed for an independent view of public finances to be given before an election. Naturally, that puts the Financial Secretary and his team in a very peculiar situation because they have to make projections, but the projections are driven principally by feedback and input they get from ministries. They don't have some magic wand to be able to go into Minister Rankine's or the subjects that would have been falling to his ministry, the projections falling to tourism, and all of a sudden make those 100% accurate. Now, is there back and forth? And I made sure I went through painstakingly last night to have the public understand that the initial projections that they were given showed an even more significant deficit, but they do a lot of work scrubbing the numbers, challenging numbers, and they do that as a matter of course every time they go out to ministry staff. They also then interact with minister staff to ensure that you're looking at how we project and forecast. That is, you're not just dividing by 12 and multiplying out and saying that's the result. Because sometimes there may be a significant spend in one particular month that isn't going to happen every month, right? You may have a project. You may have an EIA that takes place in June. That doesn't mean you're going to have 12 EIAs. So you can't just take a number and divide it and multiply it back out by 12 and say, here's my average outturn, multiply it by 12. That's the number for the entire year. I think they've done an exceptional job given all of how our system is built, and I believe the attacks on their work has been unwarranted and unfair. I feel very comfortable with the work that they've done. We as a government looked at the data. We asked for another round of returns.
That was in May.
In May. We asked for those to be given to us raw so that we could actually see what each ministry was intending to spend. That then drove our decisions to ask ministries to cut 5% of supplies and consumables, to cut 4% on non-government, I think it was 4 or 10% on non-government suppliers, to have interaction with the deputy governor to say, if this is going to be the outturn or the end result for personnel, well, we may need a soft freeze. Those are the critical decisions we took. Those decisions has now led to new projections because, so you're a former civil servant, you're head of immigration. If you had, let's say, 10 million in unfilled vacancies and you gave that to the Financial Secretary in the preview, the Financial Secretary is going to have to assume you're going to fill. If you say to him, I'm going to fill those 10 million in vacancies before year end, he doesn't know where you are with your hiring process, etc. He has to take that information and input it because you're the head of department that's giving him that information.
Precisely.
Now in May, if we still see that that's the plan, and as a government we say, if we go and we make, if we commit to that level of expenditure, it probably will result in a deficit. When we look at everything, we then made the decision to say to departments and through the deputy governor, we need to have a soft freeze. Let's only hire those absolutely critical posts. It was those sorts of decisions that have now resulted in us being able to project the $10 million deficit. So I hope that the public understands how this has gone, because there's been a lot of back and forth, and it's important for the public to feel comfortable with the information that we as a government is providing.
Okay, with that, we want to say good morning and welcome to the Honorable Premier, Mr. André Ebanks, sir. Good morning, welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Caymanians and Caymanians overseas.
Good to have you here. As well, we're talking, about Finance Committee yesterday, how it was conducted, the support given to each respective minister from his technocrats and, as well. Excellent job, including yourself.
Thank you, sir. It's a team effort. And I couldn't be prouder to serve with this team. I thought that the chair was very, very open, transparent. Mm-hmm.
I gave him a promotion to speaker this morning.
Yeah.
But we'll discuss that at another time.
You see, now you're causing trouble now. So I thought all the responses were the ministers as well. There's always a few points to tighten, but I think overall there was a very strong showing for the country.
Okay. Where do we go from here, sir?
Where were you? I just walked over from the.
No, I'm talking in terms of the country. Now that we have gotten to
not the flow of the conversation. Yes. Where we go from here is now that we have now cleared these matters that we knew we needed funding for to get us through to the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to turn our attentions to 26 and 27. So we are now on track to present the SPS starting in Parliament on the 15th of October.
Okay.
To lay the SPS. At the moment, we're not anticipating any legislative bills in that meeting. That is just for that motion. Debate the SPS. Then also there'll be reports, there will be questions, there could be motions, and that will be that sitting. And then return about 3 weeks later, starting on about the 5th of November, is our aim to then have the debate on the budget. Okay. And then that will be a much long, if you thought finance was long last night, that's just a taste of what will ensue.
I took the breaks when you all did and everything else. But I took one that you probably didn't know about. I took a little snooze in between as well.
We don't have that luxury.
For the benefit of our listening and viewing audience, this SPS, can you explain what those acronyms stand for and what it is all about?
Good point. In the alphabet soup, the strategic policy statement. Okay. So that essentially sets out where the government would like to take the country in the next 2 years and what we're going to do to fund the activities to get us to that point over the next 2 years.
And that is a legal requirement.
Legal requirement. And as you may recall, in June, we aligned that closer to the budget because we had this dual budgeting process that was happening for years. And now we have aligned that more closely to tying it to the budget. So that's why the now legal requirement is to have this done before the end of October.
Deputy Premier, several questions were asked in relation to Cayman Airways as well as the turtle farm. Two things that are near to my heart: turtle meat and Cayman Airways, because we all know the importance of Cayman Airways. Can you speak a little bit to what requests were being made as far as those two entities are concerned, and any other one that you want to?
Yes, sir. Mr. Connor, thank you very much. Cayman Airways and turtle meat is near and dear to every Caymanian. There's no two ways about it. Cayman Airways, and I have a long-standing relationship. I think Cayman Airways is celebrating going on 57 years. My mother actually wrote the letter, I think it's back to the FA in 1968, for Cayman Airways to get their license, their operating license. And I was 2 years old at the time. There's a story, but I'd rather keep that outside of the building for now. We had a couple of requests that came forward. But some was short budgeted, and also there was some outstanding fees that we owed the Cayman Islands Airports Authority. When I took over the ministry, I've been, getting my feet wet, learning some, but I want a clear slate. Whatever's outstanding, I want it clear. If we have any monies that need to be paid, I sat down with the minister for Minister Anglin, and I said, this is what I have in front of me. He said, let's clear everything up. I want you to start afresh. Our outlook for tourism, air arrivals, Christmas is going to be booming here. Our cruise tourism numbers are coming in. They're looking better for 2026, and the numbers I got for 2027 are very promising. We just need to keep this thing on track, and we need to deliver for the people of the Cayman Islands. Turtle Center, we're doing a lot of great things here. We have some things going on internally, and we hope to roll those out in the next couple of weeks. But there's a lot of good things that are happening there. The team is very energized. The management, they want to do some things there. Some extra attractions, and continue to just roll out the best tourism product we possibly can.
Okay, Minister Rankine.
But just before,
sure,
I think
Premier.
we have an important education matter to discuss.
Okay,
that's quite topical and urgent. So I want to.
I
want to ask Minister Anglin to not to cut you, Minister.
No, not a problem.
But let's let Minister Anglin have the floor.
Sure.
So, OC, yesterday there was a very disturbing incident at the Clifton Hunter High School, where there was an allegation that a child had come onto campus possessing a firearm. The school, of course, instantly reacted with its protocols that are already in place.
Mm-hmm.
We ensured that we got children secured. The child that was at the center of this was immediately brought to the office, and the RCIPS were involved. As minister, I had to take that very, very serious. And mind you, this was happening while we were in Finance Committee. So while I was in the chair, I was getting WhatsApps about this incident.
In real time.
Yeah,
right?
I believe I knew when that 15-minute break that was taken at that point in time. Was that around about that time that you received it?
I received it quite a bit before that, actually.
Okay.
So I went on for close to an hour just getting my information back and forth from the team. But I felt very secure that everything was being done on the ground to have the school secured.
Mm-hmm.
Once the Finance Committee proceedings I did receive a further briefing, as you would have said on the break, but once Finance Committee was over, I was able to really assess the entirety of the picture. And the entirety of the picture that was laid to me was this. Firstly, the child denied having any weapon. RCIPS has three, actually, specialist sniffer dogs that can actually detect weapons and the presence of weapons. They searched the entire area. They searched the school. They searched the bag. They searched the individual, and the dog then was involved with this. So the sniffer dog did not detect any presence of a firearm. The Premier and I had a long conversation with the Commissioner of Police last night to get his assessed threat level. He's the professional. We're not in security. And based on his assessed threat level and the response that the ministry had already planned, I felt comfortable in reopening school today. The steps that we're taking are additional school counselors and aid psychs are at Clifton Hunter to provide support for students and staff who may feel anxious about what happened yesterday. RCIPS committed to having additional police at Clifton Hunter and at John Gray High School. They also committed to having the firearms response unit at both sites, which I confirmed with the Commissioner of Police this morning has happened. The Director of Education Services and the Deputy Chief Officer, who's in charge of compulsory education, are both at the school as well. And so the response has been strong. We have additional security that's been called in and additional police. So I felt very comfortable in having schools reopen. What the public often doesn't appreciate is that every time we close a school, the impact it has on families. Most parents don't have a way for their children to just be taken care of during the day at the drop of a hat. So closing schools as something that we have to take very seriously, because we need to ensure that parents are considered in all this. Now let me be clear, safety of our children are our number one priority, but everything has to be come in the mix. After having heard all the information that was put to me, that decision I think was the right decision to move forward. What I can say to young people is, you need to take your actions very, very seriously. And we have to enhance our system and systems around accountability, in particular parental accountability. And I am going to be asking the Commissioner of Police and the Department of Children and Family Services to give the ministry a real update around this child and their family, because there's been a lot of rumors around how this young man may or may not have had access to a firearm, and that's what also enhanced people's anxiousness. We need to ensure that adults are held to account. Adults cannot put children at risk and be able to just do it at will without any repercussions, because when they put one single child at risk, they put all of our children potentially at risk, especially when it comes to these sorts of incidents.
Okay, Premier, on the other side of this commercial break, I'm going to ask you, if you want to add anything,
Yes.
to what the minister has said as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
It's me again, that old gal Galawantin with Cayman Airways. Look here, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
When a hurricane hits, unexpected costs can add up fast. Homeowners are usually out of pocket for these costs to get supplies or make minor repairs. But with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks after a Category 3 or stronger storm, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco Homeowners Insurance. Call 949-8101 or visit Cineco.ky for a quote. That's Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping K-Man covered.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the Honorable André Ebanks, Premier of the Cayman Islands, Deputy Premier, Honorable Rutty, Minister for Education and Training, as well as Minister of Finance, Honorable Rolston Anglin, and Minister Isaac Rankine. His ministry is sports, youth sports, culture and heritage,
and also Minister for Social Development,
social development as well. And I'm going to pass the mic back over to Minister Anglin.
I just want to wrap up by saying, by thanking my Chief Officer, Sidonia Cacho, and the team that came down to offer support for education, but also to thank them for the great work that they've done today at making sure, I just got off the phone with her, at making sure that all is calm at Clifton Hunter High School and John Gray High School. A lot of times the work that happens at ministry level is sort of overlooked when we have these very normal, good days at school. So thus far, it seems all is well and all is in order at both schools.
Okay, Premier.
I think it was very important, even though the Minister Anglin and I, were obviously tired after nearly 12 hours of Finance Committee, because there's also the prep before the cameras roll. And he's right that we're juggling messages in real time while trying to deal with these important appropriations for the country. We had to shake it off. And as you would have seen, the commissioner was there quite late as well. And we said, look, we have to call him. We have to get the facts. We have to establish the facts, because then that will determine what our next actions are. How high does this need to be escalated, or how low? So to give the commissioner credit, we had a call with him very late. He had a clear set of facts. He accepted our recommendations, and we thought it is best to err on the side of caution and give the community that reassurance that it had the attention of the police and of cabinet to make sure that we had measures in place in the event that an unfortunate incident could have taken place. But I think Minister Anglin has outlined that at the moment it seems that things are calm and the right decision was made to continue with school. But I do think the ancillary and after investigations do need to take place to get to the root of this. But at the moment, I think we made the right call in terms of our responsiveness, the reaction by the police, and the decisions to pursue matters that need further inquiry.
Yes, excellent. So we're going to go over to Minister Rankine. And while some ministries, have to focus, on their spending as well as the revenue that they're deriving as well, you have a unique ministry where the benefits, what we would consider revenue, really are translated into benefits, for people as well. And at yesterday's proceedings, the focus appeared to have been on the number of families or individuals obtaining assistance, as well as the Siemens grant. I just, wanted to highlight those, but I'll throw the mic over to you to talk about some of the things that you want to talk about, sir.
Yes, OC. We did have some appropriations for more funding in Finance Committee, as for both the financial assistance for families and also for the seafarers and the veterans. Historically, they have been underfunded, and earlier in this year, last year as well, when the stipend and the uplift was given, it also required more budgetary response for us to live up to those obligations that were made. But we did go in and ask for more supplementary funding. Going forward, we'll have a look at how we can ensure that we do that in a more pragmatic way, in that we are trying not going forward, this government, not going forward where we know that it's heavily underfunded. We're trying to make sure it's funded appropriately, along with the measures that the Minister for Labour is putting in place. Hopefully that will help us to be able to manage that budget going forward.
Okay. And Minister Anglin, you did speak about, the difference between forecasting and accounting as well. Would you like to, again, or for those persons who are listening and may not have the opportunity yet to follow the proceedings, on
right,
Parliament.
Right. So the accusation continues to be laid that government does not do a good enough job at forecasting, and that we need additional resources in that area. I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't need to sharpen our pencil and get better at in some of those areas. I dare say that's the case with every government. I think every government and every company looks on and they continually reevaluates their systems. And the point that I was making is, accountants are not necessarily financial analysts. They're not necessarily people who do a lot of projections. They account for what has happened. And I think if there is one area that I've observed so far coming back to the system, that we in the Ministry of Finance needs to serve and at the center and offer more support on, will be around how we sharpen our pencil around actual specific forecasts and working with individual ministries around those forecasts. That was really the only point I was making on that point. But we have a strong team This teams remain strong, but we need to continually reevaluate where we are. And the Premier and caucus has been very forthcoming in supporting a number of projects we're going to undertake, one of which is reevaluating the entire finance function in government, i.e. how many finance officers do we reach, chief CFOs do we really need to run government and be efficient and ensure that some of those resources may be redirected to things like forecasting and other key policy areas that we weaken.
Okay.
And if I could make an intervention, the other point to bear in mind, particularly as it comes to financial assistance for the vulnerable, so the so-called TP41 and TP47 for seafarers and veterans. I understand political speak, but there are members who are fully aware that the budget process doesn't work, that the staff have advised you what the levels are, the amounts are, and then you as a minister decide, I'm going to short that, and caucus give me this, knowing that you're short. It does not work that way. You come in to caucus with the levels that the staff have expertly advised you on, and in the middle of a caucus, and this is cycle after cycle we have seen this, cuts are made to line items like this because they pull on the heartstrings, and you're told, Minister, we have to get these other projects done. If we fund you at a realistic level, we can't get those other projects done. You can always come back in the new year and get additional monies for this because the public will understand that these are essential services. It pulls at the heartstrings, you'll get this. So no one deliberately underfunded something as a result of a mistake that you made in the numbers. It was done as a deliberate decision. This has happened cycle after cycle.
Yes.
Calculated. And this bore out in the June Finance Committee. And to give credit where credit is due, MP member for Boddentown East chimed in to say it happened to him when he was the health minister in relation to NGS 55. So this isn't new. What we are trying to achieve that hopefully will be new is that in 26 and 27 and going forward, we then support these line items and NGS 55 at a more realistic level so that Minister Isaac would not be in the position that I was in, that you have to come back, and that he was in last night to come back and beg for money that everybody knew was going to fall due.
Because we also did that in June as well. We had to go and get funding
exactly
to ensure that
and
we
let me
continue
give
to provide the support.
And here are real numbers. NGS 55 was funded, I think it was 18 million in 24, 14 million last year. The average spend had been over 55 million. We'll see.
Wow.
And so supplementaries were given to bring it up to 59 million in 2014 and up to 55 million this year, right? And a question was asked, should we now, do we need 2 million more to bring it back up to where the level would have been 2024? But the minister and her team looked on and assessed what the spend is. The point that we're making here is, how can anyone have been surprised that we are going to have a budget that's actuals that are very different? If you know NGS 55 only has 14 million in the budget, but historically we have spent multiples of that for well over a decade. So up until 21, we spent, I think it was $41 million on it. In 22, it was $45 million on it. And that item has just continued to don't quote me those exact numbers, but they have continued to rise over the years because they're critical services. Who's going to say that a Caymanian who's terminally ill or critically ill isn't going to get sent to Miami?
Right.
Yes.
If they need to. Or referred to Health City.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a perennial problem. Whether it was myself, whether it was MP Dwayne Seymour, Minister Turk, it might have happened to Sir Alden, because he once also had social. Everybody knows this.
Yes.
What's going to be new this time is to fund this at a realistic level. But in addition to that, we also want to take account of programs that be in place, because the point in certain cases of financial assistance is that you don't want the individual, if they're able, to come in the first place. So we also want to make room for the fact that there could be some corrective actions, getting folks to employment, and hopefully he won't need 100%, because the aim should be where they're able, that they contribute and function in society.
Okay, folks, with that, we're going to the top of the hour, our news at 9 o'clock. When we return, you'll be happy to know that we will go commercial free between the 9 o'clock news and 9:30 as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Government has picked a contractor to build the new Morgan's Harbor Dock in West Bay, with works, quote, commencing shortly. Premier the Honorable André Ebanks says he and his National Coalition for Caymanian West Bay colleagues are grateful and excited for this, quote, vital coastal works infrastructure to be replaced. The successful contractor is Robson Construction. In international news, a federal grand jury in the U.S. state of Virginia has formally charged former FBI Director James Comey with 2 offenses related to testimony he gave to Congress. Mr. Comey, who has long drawn U.S. President Donald Trump's criticism, is accused of lying to a Senate committee in 2020 about whether he authorized a leak of classified information to the media. The indictment comes days after Trump called on the country's top law enforcement official to more aggressively investigate his political adversaries. Responding to the indictment, Mr. Comey declared himself innocent and said he had, quote, great confidence in the federal judicial system. And former UK Prime Minister Sir Tony Blair has been involved in discussions about leading a post-war transitional authority in Gaza. The proposal, which is said to have backing from the White House, would see Blair lead a governing authority supported by the UN and Gulf nations before handing control back to Palestinians. His office said he would not support any proposal that displaced the people of Gaza. Sir Tony, who took the UK into the Iraq War in 2003, has been part of high-level planning talks with the U.S. and other parties about the future of Gaza. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Storms bring wind, rain, and unexpected costs to buy supplies, secure your home, or make minor repairs. Incidental expenses not covered by insurance. Until now, with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks of a Category 3 or stronger hurricane, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco's homeowners insurance. Visit Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the
It's me again, that old Gala wantin' with Cayman Airways. Looky ya, I go in Tampa again, cause Tampa tickets are on sale and they're flying faster than fritters at a fish fry. I know one thing, I'm racking up all the Sir Turtle rewards miles I can get for even more trips with my award-winning national airline, Siona Erectly.
Book by October 8th for travel through December 15th from just $293 CI round trip, including taxes and fees. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to catch your Tampa seats on sale now.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with me this morning, Honorable André Ebanks, Premier of the Cayman Islands, Deputy Premier, the Honorable Gary Rutty, Minister of Finance, as well as Education and Training, Honorable Rolston, Anglin, and the Honorable Isaac Rankine, Minister with responsibility for youth, sports, heritage and culture. I believe got it right. Before, just a little bit
social development
and social
innovation.
development and innovation. Didn't get it right. A little bit of housekeeping before we go back to our guest. This person says, good morning, all. Alfonso here is wishing you a happy, blessed birthday and pray that you will celebrate many more. His birthday is today and birthday greetings is coming from his greetings are coming from his class of 1976. Have another one. Person wants to send belated birthday greetings to Sasha Carter from yesterday. She celebrated her birthday yesterday, coming from her loving family, her mother, Venice Johnson, and son, Hubert Walker, as well. And then we have a few questions from some of our listeners as well. This person says, please ask the Premier what the government is planning to do to help seniors with health insurance. I'm retired and have to pay over $700 CI per month as well. I can give you an opportunity to answer that, Premier, while I look at a few more as well.
That was a topic last night as we got to the health appropriations. And I think it was a recognition in the House that we have to revamp health insurance in this country. What is happening now is unsustainable. So I think what you're going to see is a bigger pool of insurance is what our aim is, so that you're able to insure more individuals and others who can contribute. And that way you can have better coverage for vulnerable groups such as seniors and children.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Premier. And this one says, will there be any changes to the seamen's benefits in respect of the new younger wives? And that was a topic of discussion.
Let's talk about
it. Yeah, yes. We need to talk about that also, because that was also a topic that came up and was discussed quite a bit in Finance Committee last night as well. OC, our seamen, when they went to sea, built this country. But at the same time, their wives and significant others helped build this country too. And we need to have a look at the policy that we currently have and see where we need to make adjustments to ensure that the people who were involved in building this country are the ones who benefit from these grants.
Amen.
At home and at sea.
That's right.
Both occurred.
Yep. Yes. So true. This person says, good morning, OC and guests. Would the government need to, why would the government need to borrow money? if the government needs to borrow money, can't it borrow from the environmental fund and repay as usual? So obviously they weren't listening last night. They go on to say, lastly, there are enough chief financial officers and deputies and assistants to the deputies. Why can't the Ministry of Finance use some of them in the ministry to provide analysis and reporting? The budget department is still using Excel spreadsheets. Who knows if the formulas are not changed to make the government look different at times. In summary, Ministry of Finance needs to take a close look at the reporting procedures and make urgent adjustments.
Well, I've spoken to this somewhat. I've spoken to it in detail to caucus. I haven't spoken in detail to this publicly. We are looking at the entire process. In regards to, let me start with the actual financial reporting structure. We have a project that the Portfolio to Civil Service is assisting me with, where we're going to look holistically at financial reporting, and that is inevitably, in my mind, going to mean some reallocation of resources. I'm not going to say it's going to be identically like it's been laid out by the author, but we are going to have reallocation of resources. I think all of us have seen the system and seen that if this was an entity that all 5 of us sitting here were shareholders of, we would do things very, very differently as it relates to our finance function. On the budgeting side, yes, we do have, on the consolidation of all the results that come from the ministries, a rather rudimentary system of getting the consolidated financials, and that's what that person is referring to by the use of advanced spreadsheets. So it's not just a spreadsheet. We do have some very proficient users of that tool. However, I'm happy to report that I inherited a project that already was ongoing, that had been started in the ministry to revamp that system and ensure that we use a modern approach using technology, just like any modern entity would, to consolidate our financials. So by the next budget year, we should be no longer using Excel spreadsheets. This year, we took the decision to run both systems simultaneously, ensure both results were the same before we switched over completely. That's how you project manage those sorts of changes in finance. But yes, we are looking at the entire system so that the system is fit for purpose and works for the government.
Premier?
I couldn't have said it better. I, as you know, OC, I'm married to a government CFO. I get earfuls about this for years. I think all of the government CFOs are in support of the minister introducing technological change and revamped reporting standards. As the minister quite rightly said, if we wouldn't operate with a small company, the 5 of us with a trade and business license, there is no way the government of the Cayman Islands, and this day and age of 2025, should be operating its accounting in that less than modern standard.
Okay. Deputy Premier, we don't want to leave the BRAC, Sister Islands, out of this, as well. And there were some questions posed to you in Finance Committee in relation to aircraft, and from minister to minister, administration to administration, have never been able to solve the whole issue. The CEO of Cayman Airways, Mr. Fabian Worms, did a tremendous job yesterday in explaining. I mean, he was extremely granular in the way that he explained, things about Cayman Airways as well. You want to talk a little bit about that, sir?
Yes, sir. Mr. Worms did an amazing job. When it comes to the Sister Islands, we have to look at that very strategically, because we have 2 different aircrafts flying into 2 different islands right now. They're basically 70 and 90 miles away from Grand Cayman. We have to look, wholeheartedly to make sure that we give the best and safest service that's possible. with the best aircraft, and also that would be a more efficient aircraft for us. If we can take the two types of aircraft that go there and go to one, or we make some modifications and we continue to fly the two in there, but we have to be very, very cognizant of what we face, because Little Cayman is a sensitive issue with the aerodrome that we have there as well. But we want to make sure that we provide the best service to the sister islands, and I know Cayman Airways is wholeheartedly doing that, and I have all the confidence in the management team. But I just want to make a few few housekeeping issues. I forgot to mention my Cayman Turtle Center crew yesterday that came in. Chris Jackson,
Chris, excellent job as well.
Raymond Hyde, two good West Bay names you recognize here, and also Ronald McGowan and the chairman Bud Johnson. I'm very, very pleased with the group that we have there. My understanding is 100 Cayman staff and 4 work permit holders. And we can go at Turtle Centers near and dear to Cayman, but I would say it's basically a West Bay entity. so we have to make sure.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
We take care of the Republic. Another thing about Cayman Airways that I didn't mention, Cayman Airways has approximately 400 employees with 95% Caymanians. And one of the biggest pride of getting aboard that aircraft, in that left and right seat, are Caymanians that are taking us 38,000 feet in the air and dropping us safely at the next destination. That's something that we have to be proud of. And they've come up through the system. I've had a couple pilots that have just recently been promoted to captains. I've asked the airline to make sure that they're recognized and put that out in PR, because we have to show that they started off probably at the right seat in a Twin Otter, and now in the left seat in a MAX 8 for Cayman Airways. And that shows the commitment and the transition that they want to provide for the service and for the Cayman Islands as well. So I just want to take my hat off to them. But I know everybody has something to chat about, but I also want to talk about the National Coalition for Caymanians.
Sure.
It's a very special team that we have here, and I can classify it almost as a soccer team. Our number 10 that we have here is, the Premier. He's a striker. He's out there, bringing in the revenue for us.
In my old days, we used to call it center forward. So I'm aging myself now.
I would venture that put me in the right wing next to pull in the revenue. I put Nicholas on the left. He can either play left or right, because he's very gifted. And in the middle, we got a good supporting cast. Minister Katherine and Minister Isaac in the middle, and in the wings we also have Miss Heather and Miss Julie. And our 3 defenders, not just because they're probably the biggest in the group, but they're solid. I got to give props to Wayne and Jay in the middle and Michael here. But through this whole exercise that we've recently seen in the last week, and especially yesterday, our goalkeeper, who's going to try to save everything possible for this country, Rolston, Anglin. I'm very
That's
proud
a great analogy.
I said, number 10, the striker in the middle is the Premier. So we're a solid group, and everybody should be wearing an NCFC shirt.
Okay.
And that's an important point. Well, I'll let you introduce Mr. Katherine, but I do want to pick
Sure.
up on that.
Yes.
That sparked the thought.
So, we have been joined by the Minister responsible for Health and Sustainability, Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, no stranger to Radio Cayman, and for the record as well.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, OC, and good morning, Cayman, and good morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you get some sleep after last night, after all day yesterday?
I don't have problems sleeping.
I forgot how to sleep.
Yes, thank you. I did, though. I did. And I'm a little late because I'm coming from the healthcare conference that Doctors Hospital is hosting this morning. I gave apologies on behalf of all my colleagues. But they announced some exciting news. They are now JCI accredited. Yeah, so it's good. It's good. Healthcare in Cayman is continuing to advance, and I'm excited as Minister.
Well done.
And for those who may be listening and aren't able to see, Minister Kathy is taking the place of Minister Anglin. We wish him well for the rest of his day and thank him for his participation this morning. But we also welcome Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Premier. I just got to interject there. She said she was late, but I walked into the building at 7:30 this morning. She was coming out of her office going to another meeting. She was very, very early.
Thank you, DP.
I do want to pick up because Deputy Premier, I don't know how you came up with that, but that is a very apt analogy. Yes. I think I agree with all the positions on the field. And I think it's right to say that we are aligned on purpose. This is one team, the National Coalition for Caymanians. And to that point, the DP is the leader of a party. I think you were just elected not so long ago, leader of a party. I'm a leader of a party. But at the same time, you have independents in the group. It's the group that is working together. So each party will do its own activities, which is also important in the community. But don't let the public be confused. We are one NCFC team working with those positions on the field. I think you're right. I think it's time to get some branding.
Yes, sir.
Get some branding on our SPS documents, get some branding, get some T-shirts to show the public that although we will have our independents who will do their community engagements, as the Cayman Islands National Party will do so and the Caymanian Community Party, but when it comes to the running of government business, we are one team aligned on purpose, and that is to put Caymanians first.
That's true, Premier. And the one thing that I often wish, like some evenings when I'm leaving, going home, I wish the public could see how well we work together as a group. You know, like I have some people asking me, like, is it really, you know, you guys really getting on good? And I'm just thinking, like, navigating through preparing for budget and going through that exercise, like, I'm so proud of our government. Really, I am. And I'm proud of our Premier because he has steered us through this whole budget process. And there were no harsh words exchanged. You know, everybody understood what needed to be done, and I think we've done well, and I'm really proud of the government
and how professionally we conduct ourselves.
Yes,
and I think that was on display last night.
Yes, the civil servants see that and appreciate that as well.
And that's quite important because how we behave in there will translate into how we behave in the public, and what we've done so far since May is we've done a lot of work, and we've done it together, working with each other. We'll see.
And it will also translate into how the public behaves as well.
I was just going to say that. Like, we have to lead by example. You know, we have to show the people how we should conduct ourselves, and by extension, it's a ripple down effect, you know. And I think that we've been doing a great job. And I mean, even let's give some credit where credit is due. I was also proud of opposition last night. You know, I thought that, you know, for going down there and debating and discussing the budget, I thought that, you know, we conducted ourselves and they did their job as opposition with, you know, asking questions and critiquing. And I was so busy preparing, you know, just anticipating the questions that were going to come up that on my drive home last night, I thought I missed a golden opportunity because when former Premier Juliana started to speak about the women with the seafarers, right, you know, like in hindsight, you know, I was like, I really wish I would have put the pen down and chimed in as a female in Parliament to say, you know what, I agree with what she's saying, because I did. And I was nodding. And but again, I just think it shows where we are all doing our best to show the country what good governance looks like.
Now, as a political historian, political observer, and dabbling a little bit in political analysis as well, I have identified two areas of possible friction in this particular coalition. I'm being upfront, being, you know, honest, because I'm going to seek an answer from you. I identified the East-West Arterial, and I identified immigration reform as the two possible areas of contention within the coalition. Can you speak to those two issues?
I'll give you three of possible from the outside looking in, and then give you the perspective of how we're dealing with it internally.
Excellent.
Where we're turning what might be perceived as contention into constructive dialogue.
Great.
So the East-West, we are unified that the road has to be completed. I don't think there's any doubt about that in the room. It is unanimous in the room. I gave a talking point discussion at the Aging in the Cayman Islands Forum that was just Saturday gone, that I got my experience of it. Christmas 2023, my father fell ill. He had good care at HSA, but needed specific aftercare that he went to Health City. So I normally don't have to traverse to East End, is my point. When I had to do that to go visit him, I tried to get there at least every other day because in that time I was the deputy premier. So I couldn't get there every day. I tried to call him every day, but try to get there every other day. And I was sitting there thinking, is this what people go through who go to East? This one small road, for all of sophisticated as Cayman has become, this is unacceptable. That's when I said at the Aging in the Cayman Islands Forum, the one who feels it knows it. So that's when I got on the train to say, this is not acceptable. We have to wake up and do something about this. So we're unified on the building of the road.
Yes.
Number 2, immigration reform. So yes, it's undeniable. It was one of the key topics in the campaign because the system is ripe for reform. I don't see friction. What I see is that we're going to have collaboration because not every industry is the same. And what we've asked Minister Miles to do is to break out in focus groups for different industries to be able to understand the needs of each industry so that you can then pattern the reforms in a way that's responsive of that. Because at a big picture level, we are attempting to make sure that Caymanians are protected where there are abuses and make sure we have a better management of the population. If you're looking at what's the broad outcomes that you're trying to achieve, those are the big picture items. Now, within that, you have to be sure that there's a balance in terms of being able to ensure that the country can get necessary labor when it needs it because we have more jobs than Caymanians. But at the same time, Caymanians have to be protected. So after he collates those focus groups and comes together with that data, I think, and in every discussion we've had in caucus, we haven't even argued about it. There have been points where we have said, you need to maybe take a look at this, you may need to take a look at that, but we have not had a contentious debate yet. The other thing is, and I could touch on this briefly as an aside, to give that sort of balance point, to give you a real-time example. So I understand that there is a bit of concern about SEMA and being able to exempt from the workman process for a slim category of employees, which are compliance specialists. Number one, this is not new. This started in the last term. This is an extension of that for a specific purpose that they can prepare themselves because this specialist pool of compliance is a small pool globally. To be able to get those specialists in-house as we prepare for the next FATF assessment. SEMA, as I said last night in Finance Committee, is in a tough position. They are held under the Public Authorities Act to the civil service salary scale. So that we do have qualified Caymanians who can fit those roles, but they get attracted to higher salaries in the private sector. SEMA then can't properly counter-offer to retain the Caymanian. So they look at me, and anybody knowing SEMA and the CEO, multi-generational, Cindy Scotland, would not want these provisions. But she's looking at me and saying, Minister, I'm in a jam. I can't compete to retain the Caymanians. You're going to look at me and say, you need to get ready for the assessment. If I fail the assessment because I don't have the appropriate staff and the country gets on the gray list, the cry will be then, well, how did we end up back on the gray list? So the answer is what I was mentioning last night is the CEO would love to dispose of this. But we need to then be able to give them a modest relaxation in the Public Authorities Act because they're a profitable entity to be able to set, not at a sky-high rate, but set more competitive salary scales so they can retain Caymanians. And even then they may need some still work permit holders. But at the moment, this is the fix that we have to be sure that we're on track to prepare for the FATF. So this is where certain measures have to be taken that are not ideal, but given SEMA's track record and almost being 3/4 Caymanian, I do not see a large risk in this very specific circumstance. The third thing, environment and development.
Yes.
You are dealing with, to my right, a very sensible, legally trained Minister for Health, Environment, and Sustainability. She knows that any policy, any legislation over time has to be looked at to see, is it still working in the present context? Our action-oriented Minister for Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure. What position you put him on the field?
He is
defender.
Senate defender.
Defender, right? Is going to fiercely defend the ability for the country to have proper infrastructure. But he also knows that if her ministry fell into the sea tomorrow, there are issues within the planning code, policy and regulations that he has to change anyhow. So what we've said to the two of them is, if the both of you could look within yourselves to say, yes, this could use modification, and he looks on his side of the ledger and says, this could use modification, how do the two of you come together to outline what those are, and we move forward as a team to be able to ensure that they dovetail, because they need each other. We need the beauty of our environment. We need our coastlines to be protected. We're dealing with beach erosion now because of policy decisions that are happening that you're trying to fix along 7 Mile Beach. But at the same time, we also need critical infrastructure, because that's part of what separates us from a lot of countries in the region. When people come to Cayman and say, wow, look at the facilities here. They have already started to have their conversations. They're beginning to formalize their proposals. And I'm very confident that we'll be able to, again, strike an appropriate balance.
Okay, Minister Ebanks-Wilks, since your name was invoked there, give you an opportunity to add anything that you want to.
I think the Premier covered it quite well. That's exactly what we're doing. We are, trying to strike the right balance, and Minister Jay and I have started discussions, and we are working with the Chief of Staff to just map things out properly in terms of how we find this, I guess you can still call it is a delicate balance, because you have to get it right.
Yep.
But yes, we're working together, and, I know there are assertions being made in the public, but that's not the case. The case is that we are, working together, and the public will see soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. One of our...
I just want to touch quickly on something the Premier said.
Yes, sir.
In terms of SEMA and the difficulty having retaining good qualified Caymanians. Just recently in government in CSD, we had similar situations. 2 excellently qualified Caymanians for the positions turned it down because they got better compensation in the private sector. So it's not just SEMA. We're seeing this in other areas of government as well too. So this is something that we have to look at, because we want those good, excellently qualified Caymanians working for government.
It's true.
And then similarly, his director of Computer Services Department, Caymanian, will look at him and say, but I need the post. When computers break down and a minister's laptop breaks down, I need the post. And I end up to be a non-Caymanian, even though he would have done his level best to get a Caymanian.
And they turned on those job offers. At the same time, in e-government, we had 2 Caymanians who left for better offers in the private sector as well too. So that's a battle that we have to, we're going to be fighting. And how do we compensate those Caymanians who are qualified and who wants to work for government? How do you qualify them?
It's true.
And I think
and pay them
and
appropriately.
I think the DG has said that it is time to start for the civil servants have some sort of incentive, performance incentive, because government is constrained in terms of the salaries all over the world, salaries that it can provide. But is it time for some performance incentives to be able to reward people so they know, I want to stay and I want to serve my country? If I know I could get a little bit more by Christmas time for my performance, they might stay.
Or a sign-in bonus.
A sign-in bonus. They might stay. So we have to get creative. We may not be able to 100% complete with the private sector, but there's a little measures we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Minister Rutty?
You don't mind? I just want to interject right there.
Sure, and I have a question for you after from one word.
The Premier was there speaking about the East-West, and all of us are on board with him. So last night we were wrapping up around 10:30. He says, I need to come on the radio with me tomorrow. I said, Premier, is there any chance you can give me, give me a blay and go on the radio? I said, by the time I get home, I got to turn around and come right back because of traffic. I get at 4 o'clock. He said, you go home now. So, and I was, the sucker one here, Minister Wilks beat me. I think he spent the night.
So this person says, please ask the ministers, why do the sister islands continue to be an international airport and seaport? And when will the Port Authority Board change, as they have been there since 2009? Then they go on to say, I congratulate the Premier and his ministers for the respect they have for one another and not speaking over one another and sounding their own horn.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So they wanted to know why does the Sister Islands continue to be an international airport and seaport? And then the other part of it was changes to the Port Authority Board in the Sister Islands.
Okay, Mr. Connor, that actually is under Minister Jay's ministry.
That's right. Yes,
sir.
Yes,
so
yes,
it'd be best to ask him if you want to give a phone call quick. Or
I do think the Port Authority Board has had some changes.
Yes,
quite recently that should be published. So there have been some changes, and not anything I'm proposing that's radical. Some appointments naturally expired, and some new members come on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that cabinet decision has been published yet. So I don't want to get ahead of that. But you should see a publication.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I think there is merit in the BRAC having the ability to have an international airport, because that also draws economic activity to the sister islands.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this one says, good morning, OC. I would love to hear your panel government's thoughts on the recent Cayman Compass opinion piece, September the 23rd. Healthier foods would lead to a healthier society. Caymanians should be upset. They are dying earlier than they should from diseases that are preventable and paying higher health care costs than they need to. Caymanians pay a 17% tax rate on every piece of fruit or vegetable they eat. Why? Who thought it a good idea to make health foods more expensive? We're taxing away our health. Is the government so desperate for the money that it needs to do this? Reducing taxes on healthy foods and raising taxes on unhealthy food can nudge people to eat better and improve their health as a result. It should be an obvious, immediate action point for any government. Minister?
Well, the first thing that I would like to say is I am happy that our minister responsible for agriculture is pushing the initiative to eat what you grow. And I think that is the one thing that has changed here in Cayman. If we talk to our ancestors, talk to our grandparents and our parents and listen to how they ate from the sea and from the land. And you didn't really hear a lot about, all of these, these illnesses, these non-communicable diseases. And then on top of that, I think that it's fair for us to say that we are not a nation that really does a lot of walking. It's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get in my car and drive to the library before I decide to walk from government admin to the library. But if you're in the US or in the UK or in Canada, you see people walking all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
If you're driving home in the evenings, our visitors, you see them, they go for dinner. And then they walk back to their hotels, So it's one of the things that I want to focus on as Minister of Health is just to try to get, families more active. But yes, to the caller's point, if healthy food is more affordable, of course, it will be more attractive. And I know that is something that we've been exploring, fruits and vegetables, and that falls under the remit of Minister Nicholas, the customs duty. Sorry.
True, but I also want to touch on the crux of that question. So, in my capacity as the Commerce Minister, this also was raised at my first meeting for the term. This was maybe several weeks ago with the Chamber of Commerce. This exact point, and what we agreed with the Chamber is that we'll be the Commerce team within the ministry. We'll also be working with the Chamber to put together what we're going to call like a pricing committee and go through the entire code of duties to see where can we incentivize, because that's the crux of that question.
Yes.
Where can we incentivize the consumer to buy healthier foods that would make them cheaper, and then add it to those that are not as healthy for you, which then should also help with the cost of living and simultaneously help with health.
Yeah. And OC,
yes, sir.
My colleague, Minister Katherine, touched on the health and wellness portion of that question. And certainly it's going to take right now a lifestyle change by every single individual to get back to some sort of health and wellness in the country. And to that end, she spoke about walking. So again, I'm going to challenge my colleagues.
Yes. And I can attest that he's out there. I see him every Sunday
people
morning.
People out in the communities and walk, weekend walks. And I have mine called Walk and Talk. And it gives me an opportunity to speak with my constituents and those who walk with me in the morning. And by the time you walk 2 miles, you don't realize you've walked 2 miles. I mean, when you're just walking and talking with people. So I just want to encourage them in that way. You can also encourage your constituents to get out there and walk and start making those small changes to become healthier.
Okay.
And also your mental health.
Yes.
Because when I go walking or I play pickleball, you're able to just block everything out and just be able to relax your mind into that activity.
Okay. Premier, this was one on Facebook, and this was while Minister Anglin was here. They said, thank you, Minister Anglin. Can we start holding parents responsible like we do in the UK? As a community, we are allowing too much bad behavioring parents that is tolerated. Let them homeschool the child. So, the idea was that, holding parents more responsible. And I believe that there's legislation actually that does that to a certain extent.
And I think Minister Anglin is also of the view that there has to be more accountability at the parental level. He's obviously also very focused on ensuring that the system itself, in terms of teachers and teachers' aides, are accountable. But I think in pretty decent measure, we also have to rely on parents doing their jobs. And I think there's, like you say, legislation on the books to help drive that accountability.
Okay. Minister Rutty, this one says, the concerns that Kenneth Bryan brought last night, birds, planes crashing, why we didn't hear anything about his concerns while he was minister. But you did address and share the concerns in relation to the area immediately in front of the runaway, extending towards the west, as well. Can you speak to that?
Yes, sir, Mr. Conner. That has actually been a discussion that we've had in caucus recently, and we're looking. There's a few areas in Cayman and Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac that we look to address, because safety is our number one priority when it comes to our airline or any other airline or aircraft that flies into this island. We must make sure that we provide the best environment, safety for those aircraft to land and to take off. But if you know me, I just want to go back to something Minister Katherine said a little while ago.
Sure.
About, when our parents were growing up, they lived off the land and the sea. My dad always told me if they didn't grow it, raise it, or catch it, they wouldn't eat it. And he's 93 years old now, but he's eating about everything, and I kind of follow, his footsteps. I just, had my annual medicals done about a week or two ago. And I think for 58 right now, what I'm going through, I'm in pretty good shape. Not as good shape as it was a year ago. I mean, I was probably tip-top then, but, I got a lot more responsibilities right now than, being able to ramp down a pickleball court. I was doing 6 days a week now, maybe down to 1 if I'm lucky. But it's just, your body is an engine. It's only going to perform as good as what you put into it. But you also have to make sure you run it. And that running could be exercise. Just take care of yourself and, eat properly. But it all, depends what you do after you eat. I mean, eat and go to sleep, that's not good.
Ms. Susan, what we're going to do is take the commercial break now, because I want to give ministers an opportunity for some closing comments before we go off the air. So if we take the commercial break now, then I can manage that much better. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
My mom Mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aid with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
It's a sizzling summer with J&. Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with J&. Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with J&. Money.
When a hurricane hits, unexpected costs can add up fast. Homeowners are usually out of pocket for these costs to get supplies or make minor repairs. But with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks after a Category 3 or stronger storm, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco Homeowners Insurance. Call 949-8101 or visit Cineco.ky for a quote. That's Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping K-Man covered.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. It is really a pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning, and they're discussing, so much. They're just as, or maybe they are as transparent here as they were in Finance Committee yesterday, as well. Given as much as they possibly can to the public, without giving away state secrets. One of our listeners has written and said there was an interesting commentary in the UK by MP Nigel Farage and his party's proposed changes that may be helpful for government to listen to with respect to our immigration changes. That would give you an opportunity, Premier, to talk about the minister's recent trip here to the Cayman Islands. Minister responsible for the overseas territories. Yeah, Doughty. Yes.
So, as some may have seen, the UK minister responsible for the overseas territories, Stephen Doughty, made his first trip to Cayman, and he was here. He landed Sunday night. He was here all of Monday, and then he left, I think, midday on Tuesday of this week. I think, by all accounts, it was a very strong showing for Cayman. Mm-hmm. He had breakfast with me in the morning. He then went Dolphin Cove with Minister Nick DaCosta. He then joined me for a lunch with financial services stakeholders so he could hear from stakeholders exactly the level of sophisticated financial services business that's conducted here. So he's across the table from partners at Deloitte, EY, Ernst & Young, Maples, who are describing the level of transactions. I think it opened his eyes that really this isn't how it may be described in certain places as a sleepy little jurisdiction with just little small companies with money. He really had the strong sense of the global nature of the business here. He then had a security briefing with most of the uniformed officers, had a fantastic reception at Indigo, with a cross section of civil society. The Ministers Association was there, the youth was there, the seafarers was there. He got to meet the seafarers, which I think he thought was a real treat, because he made the point that his constituency and where he grew up in Wales, it was a real sea town. So he sort of got that. And then he had dinner with the entire caucus at Government House with the governor. So I think overall, he also, I think, went out with the Coast Guard before he left on Tuesday. Very strong visit. I think he has left with a positive and more detailed impression of Cayman.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left. We're going to start with Minister Katherine. We're going to leave the Premier for the last, because if we go beyond 10 o'clock, I don't think that we dare interrupt the Premier if he goes beyond 10 o'clock.
I think that's an excellent idea, OC.
I'm the excuse.
Well, OC, since we don't have a whole lot of time left, thank you for letting me go first. I was trying to pull up on my phone the Public Service Management Act, just because I was trying to remind myself, when do we have until the end of the year to go down to Finance Committee to do Section 12s?
Yeah, that wouldn't stop.
No, I know, yeah. But what I wanted to say was, again, one of the reasons why we all came on this morning, and I want to thank our Premier and my colleagues for coming on, again, trying to, hold on a second, is that me? It is. Trying to, keep the public informed on what we're doing in government and making it more understandable.
Yes.
And so being able to go down to Parliament frequently to do the Section 12s, while they're needed and not doing it later. So that was why I was looking, because I know that this is probably, as far as I know, oftentimes the Section 12s are just done before the end of the year, right? So we're doing it sort of live, like when we need it, we go and get it. Transparent to show the public like what's going on. And I know that there was a lot of discussions last night, especially around, the budget items for Minister Rankine and myself, which I deem as essential services. And, one of the things that kept popping up was the questions around previous years, how much was budgeted in previous years. And that's one of the things that I'm really proud about working with, this coalition government, is the fact that everybody recognizes that we have to be honest and, transparent about what we are budgeting for. And we're being realistic with the priorities of the country. And so, yes, it means that we've had to make some sacrifices along the way. You can't get all the projects that you want to get done and still deal with essential services. So I'm really looking forward to going down in a couple of weeks with my colleagues to deliberate on the budget debate. And I just want to say, again, this morning was Premier asked us all to come on to discuss, Finance Committee, and I'll wrap up from that. I want to just thank my team. The Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability for all their hard work. My Chief Officer, Tamara Ebanks. Everybody has been working, trying to get the budget ready. And then, of course, we had Finance Committee, as well as those that are in the departments, the directors of Department of Environment and Department of Environmental Health, as well as the Health Services Authority, CEO Lizette Yearwood, and Miss Gina Ebanks and Mr. Richard Sims. Oftentimes we get on radios and we forget to mention these individuals who are working, as well as the board. They do a lot as well. But I'm not going to take up everybody's time. I just want to, thank everyone for continuing to put Caymanians first. We as elected officials are reminded every day that we have two choices. We can come in and decide whether we want to focus on our people or whether we want to focus on elevating ourselves. And I think that because we all are taking the same approach of putting our people first, that's probably one of the reasons why it's going the way that it's going. And before I end, I just want to again publicly wish our colleague, P.S. Julie Hunter a happy belated birthday. She had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So busy in Finance Committee, didn't get to do a special shout out for her. I know her minister did, but just wanted to acknowledge her. So with that, thank you, OC.
Want to mention anything about the regional CPA that you attended?
Oh, see, you paying attention?
Oh, hey, I follow everything.
Well, I'm actually very excited because one of the things that happened at the regional conference was, there's always discussions every time that I've attended, and especially my capacity as speaker. You have all of the OTs that are talking about, Guyana's talking about they have fuel, other countries are talking about the natural resources that they have, Cayman, we have our airplanes, and, what we don't really have is a unified collaborative plan. We've seen where Cayman has stepped in just more recently with the helicopter with Turks. During Hurricane Dorian, we went over to Nassau. And so I was able to ask for a motion to be passed that we establish a regional steering committee just relating to disaster response.
Great.
And so that has been approved, and the Cayman Islands is deputy on that board. So that's going to be something that I think will bring all of our OTs together, and we'll just be organized, just almost like the what's it's on your ministry, Danny and her team.
Oh, has
yes. So just like that approach, but at a regional level. Yeah. So thank you for reminding me about that. It's great for Cayman.
As a talk show host, you got to be, up to speed with everything, Minister Rankine.
Proving it today.
Thank you, OC. And as I give some wrap-up comments, first of all, I want to thank the good people of East End for giving me this opportunity again to work with such a wonderful team, the National Coalition for Caymanians. It's been great. We've not all agreed, but we did so respectfully. We did so respectfully, and that's very important. We can disagree, respectfully, and we move on and we figure out how we're going to make it work. I had a good time in Parliament yesterday, and like Minister Katherine said earlier, it was a good collaborative approach, even with the opposition. But one of the things I also want to highlight is the Premier asked me to be the Minister of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage, and also for Social Development and Innovation, and I work with great people in those two ministries, and I want to thank them for the support they've given us so that we are able to do our jobs effectively for the people of this country, OC.
Right.
Deputy Premier.
Yes, sir.
And football manager, the manager.
Yes, sir. I thank the manager last. That's a special shout out. But, thank you once again for hosting us and inviting us this morning. There's just a couple of things that I just want to mention. I want to thank the opposition yesterday. They gave us some good questions, and they all supported, what we brought forward. And it shows their interest and their genuine care for the people of the Cayman Islands. Just because they're across an aisle from us does not mean that they're true Caymanians and they care about the country. I just want to thank them, wholeheartedly for that as well.
Well said.
And I also, it wouldn't be possible without thanking my fellow colleagues. Everybody's worked hard these last 2 weeks, and I just want to, shout out to the Premier and the group. I wasn't here last week, and they did a tremendous job for me and also as a government, and it shows the unity that we have and the team that we are, that when one is out and down, the other 10 or 9 or 8 going to pull strong and, just work, collaborative together. Couple more things. I'll wrap it up quick, I promise you.
Take your time.
Take your time.
I'm putting, this goes out to people, my good folks in Windsor Park. Redoing the basketball court there, and if you could give me just 1 month of not walking in the freshly paved asphalt yesterday, till we can get it striped out properly for you. But it's one of the community projects that I'm doing there. Proper lighting, proper basketball, proper hoops, and also backboards, because I want my community that I'm part of to have the same exact or better facilities in another place here in Cayman. And also just a shout out to my good friend Romelia, that I am working in the bathrooms here for her, and I haven't spoken to her in a couple of days. I'm sure she'll be calling me shortly today to find out what's going on, but I just want to give a shout out to her as well. But one of the things that I really want to remember today are the civil servants, not only in the government building, but that we interact with every day. They do a tremendous job for us, keeping us safe 24/7. Every time I come into that building, they just make you feel part of the family and feel welcome. And I just want, wish you all a blessed weekend, and thank you very much for everything that you do for this country and for this government as well. A few individuals that I want to personally mention is Miss Sarah ORRETT. She's a host right there. She's the face and the life when you walk through that door. Her and my good friend Delisha, and also the long-standing, custodian, manager, or father of the house is Mr. Fisher. Yes. That you can't ask him for, that he's not there, readily available, and knows exactly where to go. I think he sleeps in the building, but just to shout out to him and let him know that I appreciate him, and also my colleagues as well. But there's a person that is really near and dear to us that helps us a lot, and she goes by unnoticed and unrecognized, and that's Miss Pilar Bush. Yes. She's like the Miss Gwen of the seafarers for this government. I don't think the lady sleeps, and I just want to give a shout out to Miss Pilar. Thank her very much for the prep that she gave me, the questions that she drilled me with, and I know the time that she spent with me, and I know she spent with the other 10 colleagues. But Pilar, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it all, and I just, want to wish the people of Georgetown South, thank you once again for, believing in me. I look forward to continue to working with you the next about 43 months to go. But, man, God bless you all, and we're going to continue to crank this machinery up and produce for the people of the Cayman Islands.
Excellent.
Have a blessed weekend.
Excellent. Thank you. Premier.
Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, OC. I do want to pause and just thank the DP for thanking Pilar Bush. Her official title is Chief of Staff of the Premier's Office, but probably on your sketch, she's probably the manager.
She is.
Is she?
She's pointing right now.
And she has other supporting cast assisting her in the office of the Premier, but she does a fabulous job, as do all the rest of the staff that support her. And while we're still on the sketch, before I close, I think we should also, even though he's not president of Finance Committee, because that's the role, but in the House, the referee, Ezard Miller, as the Speaker. I think the country has seen that there is a competent, independent Speaker who holds all our feet to the fire and has been doing, I think, a very good job. Not just in terms of his ability to manage the affairs as the Speaker and the presiding officer, but also where he wants to take Parliament, where he wants to incorporate it and make it more relatable to Caymanians. I think the referee, the Speaker, has been doing a good job to follow through on your analogy. Turning back now to closing comments, I thought it was important after Finance Committee, because not everybody can watch it and not everybody can stay that long, nearly 10 hours, for ministers to come, particularly those who had the heavier appropriations, to give a flavor of what happened last night, and for Minister Anglin to give an overview of the country's finances. So I thought that was important. Individually, I can't be prouder of the team. I wake up every morning pinching myself that this is so surreal, to be surrounded with a collaborative group that works to find solutions, acts in a unified and professional manner. It is a joy to be a part of the team. I also want to say that as we're aligned on purpose and those values to keep Caymanians, put Caymanians first, and create a stronger, fairer, more modern Cayman, we know that we have stage one to solve long-standing complex problems. So you're right. I think there was a message that was talking about, well, why doesn't happen on somebody else's watch? A lot of things that are being presented now are not new. They're long-standing problems. Staffing in the police and when you can get them budget is a long-standing problem that many administrations could have tackled it many times over. So our first role is to try to dig in and try to fix some of these long-standing problems. Immigration reform, we're going to work together as a team. The comments are going to come back after focus groups. We'll look at it as a caucus, then put it out as a green bill for public consultation, and then take it to the House for debate and then passage. They were also working strong at a district level. For us in West Bay and for you in East End, we were pleading for docks in the last term. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
They're now starting to happen as a unified team. He will look across at Minister Jay and say, Minister Jay, I need this dock for East End. And the politest but forceful way, there's 4 West Bayers in caucus that said we finally need to get the dock at Morgan's Harbor done. We could see from yesterday, Minister Jay brought to the House the procured contractor so we could have the evidence and see you all. Here it is. The procurement has happened. The check is going to be cut. Works are going to start. And that is what brings together a team, looking at each other's back, everybody having their role on the field, passing the ball and sharing it up. So our job is to problem solve, unify the country around these goals, and then innovate. The country's ripe for innovation. You mentioned the finance system. We know that we are trying to have a steering group next month around AI in the digital space. It is a massive new initiative that every country is having to grapple with. It has risk, but it has enormous benefits. It can accelerate services. We need to make sure that the curriculum is set so that our Caymanians can get the jobs of the future. Massive opportunity that Minister Isaac and I are going to start to champion from next week, starting from next month. As of next week, just as an aside, I traveled to New York and Panama. It's a week that has 2 trips built in. So I leave on Sunday. The DP will be the acting premier. The acting deputy premier will be Minister Anglin. And the acting Minister for Financial Services will be G. Wayne Panton. I leave to support the reinsurance industry that's doing a number of presentations to stakeholders. This is potentially a very new and exciting addition to our financial services complement that can provide jobs to Caymanians. I mentioned on the floor in Finance Committee, there are now Caymanians who are trained to be actuaries. That business line of reinsurance needs actuaries. It's a very bespoke science. And to know that there are Caymanians, and someone in my constituency has already gotten a job with a reinsurer. There's proof in the pudding. This isn't pie in the sky. And they also have the capacity and the ability to help with local problems like the cost of home insurance at home, because they have the expertise and they also have the contacts. So it has a dual benefit of boosting our international financial services, but also providing avenues at home for participation in the economy. So that's up until from Monday to Wednesday, and then from Wednesday I travel with the Attorney General and other staff, including the Cabinet Secretary, to go to Panama because there's a meeting of a Council of Ministers under the Caribbean, FATF. And the FATF president is coming to that meeting. So we need to ensure that we're at the table and we understand the FATF's proposals as we go into the 5th round, and then I return the following Sunday. So it's an exciting time, I think, for the team. It's an exciting time for the country. Will there be different points from public policy that we know that we're going to have to balance and weigh? Yes, but I think what you're going to find is a team that has produced as balanced as possible, effective policies to solve problems, unify the country as much as possible, and innovate.
Okay. Safe travels, Premier, as
Thank
well.
you.
Folks, don't change that dial. I will be here at 12:15, guest hosting talk today as well. So please stay tuned. And as usual, we continue to ask the good Lord to please continue to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, and right. 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman.